Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Sumit Bakshi. Today I am going to discuss descriptive statistics. Why do we need descriptive statistics while doing data analysis? So here is what all I am going to cover in this video. Why do we need descriptive statistics? What is descriptive statistics? Here are two parts, measure of central tendency and measure of dispersion. So I'll discuss everything here. What is measure of central tendency? Different types of measure of central tendencies and which measure of central tendency is suitable for which type of data. Again, what is measure of dispersion? Different types of measure of dispersion and which measure of dispersion is used for which type of data. So without further delay, let's start with why do we need descriptive statistics? When we collect data, the data is raw in our hands. If the data is huge, and then it is difficult for us to understand it as such. It becomes meaningless, or I can say senseless. To make meaning or sense out of the data, we need some value which can represent the whole data or which describe the whole data. Also, if we have two sets of observation and we want to compare those, we need some representative value for both the sets. Only then we will be able to compare those sets, variables or categories. So why do we need descriptive statistics? To understand huge raw data, get the representative value of whole data and compare between two and more data, variables and categories. For example, if I want to compare the marks of students of class 9th A section A with class 9th B section B, then as such I can't compare raw data. I need a representative value of marks of the data of class 9th A, and in the same way I need some representative value of class 9th B. Then I can compare these two sets of data. Another example is comparison of marks of girls and boys in the class of 9th A. Again, I can't compare raw data as such. I need a representative value of marks of girls and I need a representative value of marks of boys of class 9th A to make the comparison. What is descriptive statistics? The name is self-explanatory. It is measure which can describe data. It describes measure of central tendency. That means how observations are centered around in a data. And it describes measure of dispersion. How observations are dispersed in whole data. So here we have different types of measure of central tendencies. Mean, median and mode. We will discuss one by one. Start with mean. Mean is the average of all the observations in the data. How we calculate mean is sum of all the observation. We add up all the observation divided by total number of observation in the data. For example, I want to calculate mean marks of 5 students. Marks of 5 students are 84, 76, 75, 84, 91. Then mean is, I'll add up all these marks divided by total number of observations. Here we have 5 number of students. That means I'll divide by 5. I get the answer 82 as mean. Then we have the answer 82. Then why do we need other central tendencies? If we can calculate mean easily, why do we need median and mode? Let's see another example. along with those 5 students, suppose now I want to calculate the average marks of 6 students, and the 6th student is got 4 marks out of 100. So this is extreme case. Now if I'll calculate the mean, I'll add up all these observations. This time I'll divide by 6 because I have 6 students here now. So answer is 69, which is not the real, or I can say true, representative value of this data. That means if we have symmetric data, then I'm okay with mean. I can calculate mean and my job is done. I can calculate the average of all the observations. But if I have skewed data, skewed means if I have observations which are the extreme cases, which lie on extremes. Here in this case, I have an observation. Last student, 6th number of student got 4 marks. So that student only changed the mean value of the complete data. So here we got the answer 69, which is not the true mean, which is not the true representative value of this data. In these type of cases where our data is skewed, we'll calculate median. So what is median? Median is the middle of the observations, which divides the whole data, whole observations into 2 equal parts. It is used when data is skewed. So in this picture you can clearly see median is the center. The yellow portion is 50% of the whole data, and again the red portion is 50% of the whole data. So median is the central observation of the whole data. Now how we will calculate median? In a simplest way, we'll set our data in ascending or descending order and find the middle value, which is median. In this example, I have observations 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So middle of these observation is 3. So here median is 3. Now if we have 2 middle values, then in the next example I have 6 observations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. In this case we have 2 middle values, 3 and 4. In that case, to calculate median, we'll calculate average of 3 and 4, which is 3.5. Here median is 3.5. But don't forget to set your data in ascending or descending order. Otherwise you will not get the exact value, correct value of median. Next, moving towards mode. The value which occurs maximum number of times in data, that is mode. It can be unimodal, bimodal, or there can be no mode if no value repeats. Example, the first example is data is observations are 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2. In this case, 2 is a value which repeats itself 3 times. So this is unimodal and our mode is 2. In next example, I have observations 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 1. In this case, 1 and 2 both occurs 3 times. So it is bimodal and mode is 1 and 2 both. In third example, observations are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here no value repeats. That means there we don't have mode. There is no mode. Next is which measure of central tendency is suitable for which type of data or used for which type of data. It depends upon mainly 3 factors. First, type of variable, second, type of data, and third is scale of measurement. To make you understand it in an easy way, I'll show you it in a tabular form. Here on the first row, we have 3 measures of central tendencies, mean, median and mode. And in the first column, there is type of variable, type of data, scale of measurement, and last I've given you one example. Now first, mean. When our variable is numerical continuous variable and our data is symmetric data, as I mentioned earlier, scales are, our data is measured in ratio or interval scale. Then in that case we use mean as measure of central tendency. For example, height of students, we can easily find the average or height of students, or temperature on different days, we can find the mean temperature. Next, median. If our data is numerical skewed, as I've given second example, the 6 students who got 4 marks, in that case the data becomes numerical skewed. So in numerical skewed data, when our data is numerical skewed, or we have our data in ranks, or scale of measurement is ordinal scale, in that case we use median as central tendency. Example, marks of students, we can calculate mean also in marks of students, mean marks of students. But if our data is symmetric, only we'll calculate mean, and if our data is skewed, then we calculate median as central tendency. Next example is stages of life. We can't calculate mean stage of life. In this case also we need median as central tendency. Next is mode. Mode is used when our variable is in categories. Our data is in mutually exclusive categories and the scale of measurement is nominal scale. For example, gender. We can't calculate mean or median for gender. So in this case, we want to know whether male or female, number of male or female is more in the data. So we calculate mode. In the same way, we can calculate mode in case of religion also. We can calculate mode, but we used to calculate proportion here. To know the exact proportion of male and female in our data. For example, females are 1/3 of male. So in this way, if we calculate proportion, we can exactly know the proportion of male and female in our data. We can calculate mode, but we used to calculate proportion when our data is in nominal scale or when our data, our variable is categorical variable. Now, if the value of mean, median and mode is equal, that means our data is normally distributed. Here standard deviation is 0 and mean, median and mode is equal. The value of mean, median and mode is equal. That's all with central tendency. Now move toward measure of dispersion. Why do we need measure of dispersion when we have measure of central tendency? To know how the data is dispersed or spread across, which we can't make out from measure of central tendency. For example, we can have different set of observations but same mean. Mean of 2, 4, 1, 13, 11, 5 is 6. So mean of set 2, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 is again 6. So here we have two different sets of observation, 1 and 2, but mean value is 6. So from this mean value, which is same 6, we can't make out how our data is dispersed, how the observations are dispersed. So for that we need measure of dispersion. So types of measure of dispersion is range, standard deviation and interquartile range. What is range? Range is simple difference between minimum value and maximum value. For example, we have 5 observations, 30, 33, 47, 50 and 56. So range here is maximum value, which is 56, minus the minimum value, which is 30. Answer is 26. Here our range is 26. Next is standard deviation. What is standard deviation? It is to know how observations in the data spread apart from mean. So it tells us about the individual observation, how the observations are near or far from the mean. Moving towards interquartile range. What is interquartile range? It is the spread between first quartile and third quartile range. In this picture, I have Q1, which is first quartile, Q2, which is second quartile or median also, Q3, which is third quartile. What is Q1, Q2, Q3? Q1 is a portion in which there are 25% observations below. Q2 is an observation in which 50% observations are below that observation, and 50% of the observation are above that observation. And Q3 is a value in which 75% observations are below it and 25% observations are above it. So the spread between Q1 and Q3, that blue portion in this picture, is interquartile range. That means middle 50% values of the complete data is interquartile range. So first portion, yellow portion, is 25%, that is Q1. Second portion, blue portion, is 25% again. And third portion, again blue portion, is 25%. And the fourth portion is again 25%. The total blue portion, 25% plus 25%, 50%, is interquartile range. I'll make you understand through table. Here, measure of central tendency along with measure of dispersion. When we calculate mean, in case of measure of central tendency, along with mean we calculate standard deviation. Where variables are numerical continuous, our data is symmetric, and scale of measurement is ratio and interval scale. In the same way, when we calculate median as measure of central tendency, we will calculate interquartile range, IQR. In that case, when our variable is numerical skewed, data is skewed or ranks or in orders, scale of measurement is ordinal scale. Third, when we calculate mode, in that case there is no dispersion. How can it be? When we have categories male and female, we can't calculate how the values are dispersed. So in this case, there is no dispersion. To sum up, we calculate mean and standard deviation when we have continuous data, symmetric data, and data is measured in ratio and interval scale. We calculate median and interquartile range when our data is skewed or in ranks, and data is measured in ordinal scale. Lastly, we calculate mode, or most of the time proportion, and there is no dispersion when our data is in categories and measured in nominal scale. Thank you. That's all with the topic. Please like, comment and share the video, and subscribe to Dr. Sumit Bakshi. Thank you.